We recently made a flow-motion time-lapse film for a local hotel featuring exterior and indoor shots such as rooms, the bar and restaurant, as well as some of the most popular tourist spots in Frankfurt. We wanted to try something new and decided to make a flow-motion video, which means there are no clear cuts visible because all shots are connected in different kinds of ways. While it would be easy to just always use the same transition or wipe effect, we decided to really look what would work best for each sequence. Some transitions are simply zoom effects or camera pans, and some are a bit more individual and advanced. We used up to 3 cameras capturing raw photos at the same time of a room or a view of the city to be able to zoom in and out of different areas without a loss in image quality. For example, one camera was capturing a panoramic view with an ultra-wide-angle lens, while another camera was capturing something more up close with a telephoto lens. In post-production, we then connected these 2 shots to make it seem like it was all captured in one take without any interruptions or cut. Even though this technique is not brand new or has never been done before, it's definitely an effective and great way to capture a fast motion scene. To avoid a static tripod look, we added some camera movement in post, just as if the time-lapses were shot handheld. The most fun part was to create the more unique transitions like this one with the clock turning fast. Obviously, this was done in post by removing the original hand clock. The clock was then animated in After Effects simply by rotating the hand. This sequence was photographed with 2 cameras, and the last shot that is very up close is a photo which is not noticeable because the clock is turning, which makes it seem like it's an actual time-lapse. The key to making a time-lapse film like this one is to try different ways of transitioning from one shot to another without overusing one technique. It's always best to already have something in mind while shooting the time-lapses rather than to try and come up with something in post. Just like the clock shot of the old town. If we didn't know we would zoom in and transition to the clock and just do a panoramic shot of the houses but not of the clock itself, it would have been impossible to recreate that in post. Another transition that was fun to make is not so obvious, especially when watching the video for the first time. The big picture hanging on the wall is actually the next shot, which is already visible at the beginning of the bar sequence, but because it's just in the background, it's not very noticeable. The secret, or maybe not so secret, ingredient to good transitions and zooms is motion blur. While many daytime time-lapses are often shot with a short shutter speed simply because it's bright outside, we decided to expose longer to smoothen the video and to give it a different kind of look. The last sequence of the video took quite some time to edit because it's a combination of 3 different time-lapse shots. Even though the final shot itself doesn't look very special, the transitions at the end were what made it tricky to edit. The 3 different buildings had to fly out of frame at different times, but the sky with the clouds in the background still had to stay there. In the end, we decided to just cut out the buildings manually as separate layers using the masking tool in After Effects and used a different shot of the sky as a background. The last part of the edit was to add music. We didn't just want to use one track for the whole video, but rather something that fits to the mood of the different scenes. We also decided to add ambient sounds to give the sequences more depth and to simply make the film more enjoyable to watch.